ちゃ使うのかしら。ダッシュボード。コンテンツ。ダッシュボード。コンテンツ。テステス。This is display captured. Dashboard. Is my display captured? This. Duration. Okay. So first tree. My microphone is so bad. RFC. So I want the second monitor. Okay. これショートカット欲しいね。ショートカット。 どうしようかな。自分でやっているぐらいでもないか。キャメラでなんちゃいけない。よし。よしよしよしよしよしよし。チューリングがずれてるけど、いけます。いけます、いけます、いけます。あとは、あれかな。こいつが映ってないだけ。うい。うい。OK, OK, OK. Internet Control Message Protocol. RFC を読みます。Introduction. The Internet Protocol is used for host-to-host datagram service in a system of interconnected networks called the CATEnet. The network connecting devices are called gateways. These gateways communicate between themselves for control purposes via a gateway and gate-to-gateway protocol. 昔のやつだからかな。ゲートウェイプロトコル。メモしながらやりますか。Gateway protocol. Occasionally, a gateway or destination host will communicate with a source host. For example, to report an error in datagram processing. So for such purposes, this protocol, the Internet Control Message Protocol, is used. For such purposes, okay. Use the basic support of IP as if it were a higher level protocol. However, ICMP is actually an integral part of IP and must be implemented by every IP module. 知らないこと書いてある。いいですね。いいですね。ICMP messages are sent in several situations. For example, when a datagram cannot reach its destination, when the gateway does not have the buffering capacity to forward the datagram, and when the gateway can direct the host to send traffic on a shorter route. この上の中はあれか。does not have the buffering capacity to forward a datagram. はいはいはいはい。いやーこれ ICMP の実装も見たいな。To send traffic on a shorter route. The internet protocol is not designed to be absolutely reliable. The purpose of these control messages is to provide feedback about problems in the communication environment, not to make IP reliable. There are still no guarantees that a datagram will be delivered or a control message will be returned. Some datagrams may still be undelivered without any report of their loss. The higher level protocols that use IP must implement their own reliability procedures if reliable communication is required. The ICMP typically report errors in the processing of datagrams to avoid the infinite requests of messages about messages. なるほど。違う、終わってないわ。No ICMP messages are sent about ICMP messages. ICMP について ICMP は通知しないんだ。そんなこと知らない。Also, ICMP messages are only sent about errors in handling fragment 0 of fragmented datagrams. Fragment 0 has the fragment offset equals 0. Fragment offset. なるほどね。Fragment offset. ICMP. ありました。これが見たかった。ICMP messages are sent using the basic IP header. The first octet of the data portion of the datagram is a ICMP type field. The value of this field determines the format of the remaining data. Any field labeled unused is reserved for later extensions and must be 0 when sent, but receivers should not use these fields except to include them in the checksum, unless otherwise noted under the individual format descriptions. The values of the internet header fields are as follows. Version. なるほどね。4があれかな。The first octet of the data portion of the ICMP type field. タイプフィールドがあります。で、その後のインターネットのヘッダーはこんな感じですよってことね。この0は何だろう。バージョン4ってことかな。Version. Internet header length in 32-bit words. なるほど。Type of service. Type of service の話してたっけ？サービスうんたらかんたらみたいな。違うか。Total length of internet header and data in octets. Header and data in octet length. Identification. Fragmentation. C1 が1この1に飛ばしてほしい。Time to live. TTL ですか。Time to live in seconds, as this field is decremented at each machine in which the datagram is processed. The value in the value in this field should be at least as great as the number of gateways which this datagram will traverse. プロトコル ICMP1。ヘッドチェックさん。one's complement. one's complement. 1の歩数 of the one's complement sum. 1の歩数の1の歩数。Sum of all 16-bit words in the header. For computing the checksum field should be 0. This checksum may be replaced in the future. チェックサムをコンピュートするためのチェックサムは0じゃなきゃいけないと。なるほどね。これいくつあるかな。いけそう？いけそう。20ページぐらいあるかな。そうだね。20ページぐらい。けど、メッセージタイプとか説明もあると。よし。Source address. The address of the gateway or host that composes the SMP message. ソースってことは、だから送信元アドレスってことか。英語の方がわかりやすくね。The SMP message, unless otherwise noted, this can be any of a gateway's addresses. こいつは any of gateway's address. どんなアドレスでもいい。どんなやつも。or host that composes the SMP. なるほど。Destination address, the address of gateway or host to which the message should be sent. 送られるところだね。Destination reachable message. Destination 届かなかったよってことね。Destination address. The source network and address from the original datagram's data. 8ビットじゃない。いや、10個だけど、32個。だから、ビットで区切ると、8ビット、8ビット、16ビット、さっきと言ってたところ。で、使われてない場所があって、インターネットヘッダー。インターネットヘッダーってのは、プラス64 bits of original datagram。なるほど。なるほど。IP fields, destination address, the source network and address from the original datagram's data. 送信元と、だから、1個前のやつ、1個前じゃない、その、ICMP を送った開始か。一番最初のところ。ってことは、デスティネーションアドレスをさ、そういうことね。デスティネーションに届きませんでしたってメッセージ返すときはこれを送るってことか。ICMP fields。タイプは3番。タイプ3番だから、これどっちなんだ？どっちがリトルエンディアンかビッグエンディアンかの違い。わかんねえ。21？ 多分こっちだろうな。12だ。11か。1100。Code。0, net unreachable, host unreachable, protocol unreachable, port unreachable, fragmentation needed, and the DF set. DF. Source root failed. これなんか別の問題だよ。なるほど。Checksum. The checksum is the 16-bit one's complement sum of the ICMP message starting with the ICMP type. Starting with the ICMP type. ここからのチェックサムってことか。で、for computing the checksum field should be 0. This checksum may be replaced in the future. The internet header plus the first 64 bits of the original. 結構なんか簡単に作れそう。これだけなら。めちゃくちゃシンプル。The original じゃなくて original datagram's data. internet header plus the first 64 bits of the original datagram's data. This data is used by the host to match the message to the appropriate process. If a higher level protocol uses port numbers, they are assumed to be in the first 64 data bits of the original datagram's data. わからんくなってきたぞ。The message to the appropriate process. If a higher level protocol uses port numbers, ICMP はポートは使わんから、Internet Data plus 64 bits of datagram じゃなんだ The original Internet Header ここの説明なんだろうけど64 bits だから8で割ったら8個短絡に32ビットしかないよ。だから2個続くんかな。Vertical uses port numbers and they are assumed to be in the first 64 data bits of the original datagram's data. なるほど。最初の64ビットに見なされるというか、だと思われる。って感じ。Description. If according to the information in the gateway's routing tables, the network specified in the internet destination field of a datagram is eligible. なるほど。Field of a datagram. The network specified in the internet destination field of a datagram is なるほど。If the distance to the network is infinity, the gateway may send a destination eligible message to the internet source host of the datagram. In addition, in some networks, the gateway may be able to determine if the internet destination host is eligible. Maybe also to determine if the internet destination host is eligible. The network is eligible. If the internet destination host is eligible. Gateways in these networks may send destination eligible messages to the source host when the destination host is uneligible. なるほど。だから、分かった。いけないって分かったらその時点でメッセージ返すよってことかな。If in the destination host, the IP module cannot deliver the datagram because the indicated protocol module or process port is not active, the destination host may send the destination eligible message to the source root. IP が、だから、プロトコルのあれが動いてなかったり、ポートが開いてなかったりすると、このメッセージ返ってくるかもしれないよってことね。Another case is when a datagram must be fragmented to be forwarded by a gateway. Must be fragmented to be. If the don't fragment flag is on. The don't fragment flag is on. Now, in this case, the gateway must discard the datagram and may return a destination eligible message. Calls 0, 1, 4, and 5 may be received from a gateway. Calls 2 and 3 may be received from a host. コードは、お前か。 3と5、2と3はホストから返ってくるかもしれない。プロトコルの一部、ポータルの一部だから行ってから分かるってやつだな。で、0、1で、ゲートウェイから分かるのは、これと、ネットで一部。ホストアニチャブ、そうね。ホストに届いて、ホストがホストアニチャブ返したらおかしいもんな。どういう取り上げじゃないからな。はい。なるほど。Time exceeded message。TTL が減りすぎてってやつか。あんま変わんねえな。address、あった。タイプ11。1111？タイプ3。あんま。11って、11。11だから、1101 code 0 time to leave exceeded in transit fragment reassembly time exceeded どういうことなんでしょうこれは再収集 The checksum is one's complement sum of the ultimate message description. If the gateway processing a dategram finds the time to leave field is 0, it must discard the dategram. The gateway may also notify the source host via the time exceeded message. If a host resembling a fragmented datagram cannot complete the reassembly due to missing fragments within its time limit, it discards the datagram. If a host fragment data complete the reassembly due to missing fragments. そういうこと。フラグメントってよく分かってないけど、断片化されたデータグラムの再収集が完了できなかった。fragment within its time limit, it discards the datagram. ちょっとここはよくわからん。If a fragment 0 is not available, then no time exceeded need to be is not available. Fragment 0 is not available, then no time exceeded need be sent at all. Code 0 may be received from a gateway. Code 1 may be received from a host. ここにしていきましょうか。1はそうか。TTL ってさ、TTL の話ってしてたっけ ?1 個減らすよみたいな話。確かしてたか。これだ。Time to live in seconds. Seconds! なるほど。As this field is decremented at each machine in which the datagram is processed. The value in this field should be at least as great as the number of gateways which this datagram will traverse. ここの意味がわかりました。なるほど。秒数単位なんだけど、もし1個ずつ、もしなのかこれは。as. The value in this field should be at least as great. なるほど。seconds って書いてあるのかな。なるほどね。destination which of a message time exceeded message さあ parameter problem message IP fields destination address the source network and address from the original datagram's data point parameter problem their source network and address from the original datagram's data. Type ICMP field pointer. If code 0 identifies the octet where an error was detected, identifies the octet where an error was detected. Huh. 所ってことなのかな。そうだね。場所っぽいな。さあ、description. If the gateway or host processing a datagram finds a problem with the header parameters such that it cannot complete processing the datagram, it must discard the datagram. ここが重要なのかな。One potential source of such a problem is with incorrect arguments in an option. The gateway or host may also notify the source host via the permitted problem message. This message is only sent if the error causes the datagram to be discarded. なるほどね。Is with incorrect arguments in an option. Is with incorrect arguments in an option. Such a problem is with incorrect. なるほど。Permitted problem message. なるほど。そんな重要じゃない。The pointer identifies the octet of the original datagram's header when the error was detected. It may be in the middle of an option. なるほど、なるほど。どこでエラーが起きたか。コンパイラーのエラーみたいな感じか。For example, 1 indicates something is wrong with the type of service. And if there are options present, 20 will indicate something is wrong with the type code of the first option. And if there are options present. なるほど。オクテットを指すから、1、2、3、4、5、なるほど、なるほど。オクテット、バイト単位、オクテット単位でエラーの場所を教えてくれるみたいな感じか。コード0、コードはポイントにです。なるほど。source quench. How it is translated in Japanese. Quench. 辞書引きます。quench.あんまり重要じゃないかもしれないし、読んだらわかるかもしれない。あったー。冷やす、消す。source quench。ソースが消えたってこと？ディスクリプション読んだらいいのかな。A gateway may discard internet datagrams if it does not have the buffer space needed to queue the datagrams for output to the next network on the route to the destination network. If a gateway discards a datagram, it may send a source quench message to the internet source host of the datagram. A destination host may also send a source quench message. If datagrams arrive too fast to be processed, the source quench message is a request to the host to cut back the rate at which it is sending traffic to the internet destination. The gateway may send a source quench message for every message that it discards. That it discards. 捨てたやつに送りつけまくるよってこと？ On receipt of a source quench message, the source host should cut back the rate at which it is sending traffic through the specified destination until it no longer receives source quench messages from the gateway. The source host can then gradually increase the rate at which it sends traffic to the destination until it again receives source quench message. なるほどね。だから、なるほど。早すぎるときに送られるから、ちょっと下げといて、だんだん上げて、こいつが、このメッセージが来るようになるちょっと前ぐらいまで上げれば、いい感じに保てるんだ。はい。面白いな。Host may also send a source quench message if datagrams arrive too fast to be processed. そうだね。The gateway or host may send the source quench message when it approaches its capacity limit rather than awaiting until the capacity is exceeded. なるほど。待つよりもこいつぶっち込むよと。This means that the datagram which triggered the source quench message may be delivered. We trigger the source quench message may be delivered. This means なんかわかんないな。The datagram which triggers the source quench message may be delivered. Delivered の誰にかわかんないから。あ、そういうこと、届けられるかもしれないってことか。なるほど。別にこれ、ディスカードって書いてあった。ディスカードデータグラムって書いてあるわ。If a gateway discards 違うわ。そうだよね。may discard だもんね。なるほど。redirect gateway unused じゃない。gateway internet address 32ビットあるから IPv4 なら入るわ。destination address the source network and address of the またチェックしたんでしょ。redirect datagrams for the network redirect datagrams for host for the host redirect datagrams for the type of service and network redirect datagrams for the type of service and host. Type of service and host. Redirect datagrams for their type of service and network. Type of service とネットワーク。なるほどね。Internet header plus 64 bits of data description. The gateway sends a redirect message to a host in the following situation. A gateway G1 receives an internet datagram from a host on a network to which the gateway is attached. The gateway G1 checks its routing table and obtains the address of the next gateway, G2, on the route to the G2. そんなものはないよな。あ、これか？違うね。あ、これか。Address of the gateway to which traffic for the network specified in the internet destination network field of the original datagrams data should be sent. 2と10との1とThe gateway G1 checks its routing table and obtains the address of the next gateway G2 on the route to the datagram's internet destination network. ゲートウェイ1って読みますよってことか。An internet datagram from a host on a network to which the gateway is attached. なるほど。なるほど。G1 がホストからもらうんだ。The gateway G1 checks its routing table and obtains the address of the next gateway, G2, on the route to the datagram's internet destination network, X. The datagram's internet destination network, X に行きたくて G1、G2 取ってるってことか。On the route to the datagram's internet destination network. If G2 and the host identified by the internet source address, internet destination address of the datagram are on the same network. G2 and the host identified by the internet source address of the datagram are on the same network. A redirect message is sent to the host. G2 とホストが同じだったら、A redirect message is sent to the host. ホストに行くんだ。The redirect message advises the host to send its traffic for network X directly to gateway G2 as this is a shorter path to the destination. The gateway forwards the original datagram's data to its internet destination. The address of the datagram are on the same network. The source address of the datagram are on G2 とホストがリダイレクト X に行きなさいと。Send its traffic for network X directory to gateway G2. For datagrams with the IP source loot options and the gateway address in the destination address field, a redirect message is not sent even if there is a better route to the ultimate destination than the next address in the source loot. For datagrams with IP source loot options and the gateway address in the destination address field. 4. Datagrams with the IP source loot options and the gateway address in the destination address field, and the redirect message is not sent even if there is a better route to the... なるほど。IP source root オプションがあってと。And the gateway address in the destination address field. Address. なるほど、なるほど。指定されてたらいかないってことかな。オプションが指定されてて、かつ、ゲートウェイアドレスが、デスティネーションアドレスフィールド。なんで、ゲートウェイ、でもこれ、そんな感じだな。まあいいわ。一旦いいわ。いいぞ。echo and echo reply message。はい。一番重要なじゃないですか。よし。echo and echo reply message で type 8 for echo message echo message 0 for echo reply message なるほど。エコーだからやまびこみたいな感じで行ったら帰ってくるだけだな。行って帰ってきてだから、まあ、エコーですな。 コードは絶対0。なのに8ビットも取られてる。identifier if code equals 0。コード0じゃねえのかよ。色変えれる。わお。まあいいかな。If code equals 0, an identifier to aid in matching equals and your price may be 0. An identifier to aid in matching equals and your price may be 0. Now, sequence number. Sequence identifier. identifier に説明か。If code equals 0, a sequence number to aid in matching equals and your price may be 0. Description: the data received in the echo message must be returned in the echo reply message. The identifier and sequence number may be used by the echo sender to aid in matching the reprise with the echo request. For example, the identifier might be used like a port in TCP or UDP to identify a session, and the sequence number might be incremented on each echo request sent. The echoer returns these same values in the echo reprise. Echoer returns these same value in the echo reply. Might be used like a port in TCP or identifier の説明がそこまでなくて。For example, なるほど、なるほど。こいつに対する回答だっていうことを伝えるためにあるよと。And the sequence number might be incremented on sequence は1個ずつ増えていくんだ。このコンテキストのやつだって伝えるのが identifier で、sequence number はこれに対する回答だ。回答じゃないね。これを届きました、これを届きましたってことだろう。ちょっと、目的まで書いてないかな。ダメ。目的書いてるか。To aid in matching the reprise with the echo requests. In matching the reprise with the echo requests. マッチング？まあいいや。timestamp or timestamp reply message. タイムスタンプなんてあったっけ？そうですか。identifier もさっきと同じ感じだな。original timestamp. Description: the data received a timestamp in the message is returned. The data received in the message is returned in the reply together with an additional timestamp. The timestamp is 32 bits of milliseconds since midnight UT. One use of these timestamps is described by Mills. なんでしょうこれは。The original timestamp is the time the sender last touched the message before sending it. The received timestamp is the time the echoer first touched it on recept. And the transmit timestamp is the time the echoer last touched the message on sending it. If the time is not available in milliseconds or cannot be provided with respect to midnight UT, then any time can be inserted in the timestamp provided the high order bit of the timestamp is also set. ね。ちょっと待った。UT then any time can be inserted in the timestamp provided the high order bit of the timestamp is also set to indicate this non-standard value. Is? then is the high third bit of the timestamp is also set to indicate this non... ああ、そういうことか。主角ね。主角の関係代名詞ね。省略すんだよね。省略しなくない？ The identifier and sequence number may be used by the echo sender to aid in matching the replies with the request. あ、そうね。For example, identifier コピペすんなや。とか送っちゃいけないね。すいません。Information request or information reply message と思ったけど、コピペしてくれた方がいいか。すいません。文句言ってしまって。Information request or information reply message. Information address. The address of the source in an information request message will be the destination of the information reply message. To form an information reply message, the source and destination addresses are simply reversed. と思ったけど。待ってよ。お、ここ読んだ方がよかったな。ちゃんと読んだ方がいいわ、これ。Address of the source in timestamp message will be the destination of the timestamp reply message. To form a timestamp reply message, the source and destination address are simply reversed. The type code change to we computed. ちゃんと書いてあるじゃん。すいません。なるほど。information 情報を教えてくださいってやつかな。で、identifier sequence number があると。This message may be sent with the source network in the IP head to source and destination address fields 0 may be sent with the and destination address fields with 0, which means this network may be sent with the source network in the IP header source. Destination がないと。なるほど。The replying IP module should send the reply with the addresses pre-specified. This message is a way for a host to find out the number of the network it is on. なるほど。そうそう。インフォメーションっていうのか、それを。The identifier and sequence number identifier TCP UDP to identify これは identifier sequence number はセットなんだな。識別子とシークエンス番号みたいなやつか。見たことがある気がする。Summary of message types. Summary. Finally, I reached the summary of this RFC792 summary of message types. Let's go. Equal reply, destination unreachable, source quench, redirect, 0345. 0345. It's kind of sus. Why it skips 1 and 2 and 6 and 7? Redirect equal time exceeded permitted problem. Timestamp reply, information request, information reply. Maybe there is some implications. Reference Internet Protocol. The model of Internet working. Gateway loading and OK。なるほどね。これ ICMP 作れそうだな。 ったけど、このRFC、なんか、1981年のやつだったんだけど、大丈夫かな？絶対アップデートされてんだろ。100% アップデートされてるわ。どうしようかな。一番、超絶初期の ICMP 読んでしまったかもしれない。まあまあいいでしょう。これぐらいの時間で読めるなら、毎日読みたい。それじゃあね。どうだろうな。よし。それじゃあ、11時なんでね。See you next time. はは